Hey there YouTube, happy Meerschaum Monday. As per the tradition, I'm smoking my vintage Bertram with some Frogmorton original. Because I can. This video should be a little bit different. I'm doing wanted to do sort of an educational video. Because I don't find any consensus in the YTPC. Regarding tobacco and moisture. We all know that you are supposed to preferably jar your tobacco, that pouches are bad for you and tins are, well, tolerable. We all sort of know that. But there comes a time when your tobacco is dry and you need to reintroduce moisture into the tin, jar, pouch, whatever. And for some reason I see people either oversimplifying or grossly overcomplicating the storage and the moisture aspect. There are certain quote-unquote purists who say that tobacco should only be stored at this and that humidity, this and that temperature, and you should dedicate a certain, you should basically get a humidor and store your tobacco in such and such fashion, and if you're not doing that, you're not doing a proper job. Basically go away and we're better than you. Well, first of all, this is ridiculous. Naturally. But second of all, these people, this school of thought, comes, in my opinion, from the cigar crowd. Because cigars really need to be stored at certain humidity and certain temperature because of the construction. As the moisture and the temperature fluctuates or changes, tobacco, being plant-based material, expands or contracts or changes its size, and it may cause the cigar to break, to crack, and it will be unsmokable because it is a tobacco twisted in a particular form and it should remain in this form. But the tobacco in the pouch or in the tin or in the jar is pretty much free to expand and change its shape however it sees fit. And besides, if we look at the history of tobacco smoking, no one until recently gave a damn about tobacco storage. So these guys can probably walk out right now saying, or thinking, preferably thinking, not saying bad words about me. For not being a purist. As for the rest of us, who still need our tobacco moist to a certain degree, I've read about a very, very simple idea. A guy on YouTube proclaimed that all you need to do is basically take your loose tobacco, put it in a Ziploc bag, spray some water in there, just close the Ziploc, shake it up, and leave it for a certain period of time. And my first thought was, this guy must probably watched the Cornell and Deal factory tour, because there they spoke, among other things, very nice video by the way, among other things they spoke about, the employee of the factory spoke about them introducing moisture into the tobacco during the blending process and during the packaging process, just by doing just that, spraying water on the tobacco. And although this probably should work just fine, I'm not comfortable with that, and I never do that. In my opinion, this process is too quick, rapid, and the moisture, the water, goes directly onto the surface of the tobacco, and I believe it's not exactly right. Maybe right for them, blending, packaging, the manufacture process, but for the just storage and reanimating tobacco at home, I don't believe it's right. Let me give you an example. Here's a pouch of Peterson Wild Atlantic. By the time it reaches Russia, it's solid. It's a solid brick of pretty dry tobacco. What are you supposed to do with that? Tear it up, crumble it, and then spray water on top of it, or spray water onto the brick? You'll get a soggy brick from the outside. It won't translate, in my opinion. I am no purist, but it is my firm belief that tobacco should get moisture from the air inside the jar. But because none of us wants to risk putting a cup of water inside the jar, there have been many technical solutions to this. For me, Frogmorton is the worst tobacco for filming, because I'm constantly lighting and relighting it, and I look very, very bad, and I look like an amateur. But I don't care. So, most probably simplest and most popular variant, these tablets. It's much less shiny than when I bought it. I use it sometimes. If you open it, there's this sort of a plasticine-like material. Actually crumbles pretty easy. It absorbs moisture. You put it into a cup of water, and then you're supposed to drop this into the tobacco, and I have a problem with that. You see, first of all, this material, like I said, it crumbles very easily, and there are holes on the sides. You have all seen this stuff. So I see there's nothing preventing this stuff from crumbling and falling out, getting into your tobacco, and I don't know, seems kind of unsanitary. Also, I never seem to understand when it's done. These holes are pretty small, and so getting this whole tablet moist on the inside is just, I'm having trouble with that. I much prefer the simpler solution, like this. Forgot about this. This thing, that's a sort of a ceramic piece of ceramic. It comes in different shapes and sizes. This one is oval. I've seen cylinders, I think, or just blobs like that. You put it into the water, and you're supposed to drop this into the tobacco as well. To me, it's much more simple. It doesn't crumble. It holds a decent amount of water. I feel it's moist right now. It gives it gradually. The problem I have with both of these things is dropping it into the tobacco. I don't like that, because even if you wipe both of those things dry, you end up opening the jar and seeing the tobacco sticking to the surface. This one is actually, see that? The dark spots, that's the tobacco that was stuck and gave its color to the ceramic. So it's, again, direct contact between the tobacco and the moisture, the water. Don't like that. But I still use that. And the method I use is just putting a small sheet of cellophane and dropping this stuff on top. It has no direct contact, and at the same time it gives away moisture, and the atmosphere inside the jar changes. It gets more moist. Another variant I saw, and again, these come in different form factors, are these. Sort of a plastic container that contains some form of crystals or gel that absorb water. Again, you're supposed to put it into the water, and it gives it away gradually. And it's probably my least favorite thing, because first of all, getting water in here is a problem. They're very, very small holes on both ends, and in order to properly fill it with water, I had to take a syringe, stick it in, and just pump the water in. It looks crappy, and it does hold the water okay, but if you forget to change it regularly, it will stop doing that. It will dry up, and when you try to introduce water again, it will absorb less. It also absorbs again color from the tobacco. You see, it looks like a just snot, for the lack of a better word. It looks awful, and it smells bad. All of these, by the way, they absorb a certain amount of smell from the tobacco, so you cannot reuse that. And so this is probably the one thing I won't recommend, unless you are in a very, very tight, the packaging is tight and you cannot fit anything in it. So having bought all these devices, having tried all the solutions, I think I came up with a simpler and more efficient, replaceable and cheaper solution. Paper, simple paper, tissues, paper towels, even toilet paper will suffice. When I need to introduce moisture to my tobacco, I take something like this. This is a top, the lid from the from the pack, small pack of ice cream. So I suppose it's food grade, I don't know, it's plastic. Has a space over here. I just fold a piece of toilet paper, or make sure you get the unscented one, or just tissue or something like that. Put it in here, folding it several times, like so. Then I take my syringe, I take the distilled water. I do suggest using distilled water for that. Less chance of getting of altering the flavor or getting some weird shit into your tobacco and make it go moldy or something like that. And I just drop a couple of drops and put it in the tin and close it. That's it. No tricky devices. I tend to use these ceramic things. They're nice, but if I want to introduce moisture more quickly, but at the same time gradually, just make the air inside the jar more moist, I think nothing beats that. If you are in a tight spot, you can even use something like this. That's for Morton, by the way. It's again this cellophane, and there's a piece of paper soaked. Just drop it in, close the lid, and you're done. It will release moisture into the tobacco. And another cool life hack. Well, I don't know if you have it in the place you live in, but here in Russia, some of these jars actually have sort of a hollow lid with it's like this. There's a jar and it goes like this, so it has, see me putting the finger in this, so you can actually stick the paper towel in here and add drops of water, soak it, close it, and it's a self-contained system. It costs nothing. If something goes bad, if it looks if it looks off, if it changes color, just throw it away. You're not wasting anything. I have a ceramic thing that ceramic moisture device that was in the tin that it went moldy. I don't believe it's the fault of the ceramic thing, but I'm afraid to put it anywhere now. I soaked it in vodka because I'm Russian, but still, I'm afraid. If something goes wrong with the jar and it's just a, paper towel, throw it away. You're not losing anything. So that's my idea. Simple paper, go slowly, gradually, or otherwise use these ceramic things. They're great. I've heard people saying that you can just get a red brick, bash it into pieces and soak them in water and it will be fine. Huh? Maybe. So this is my take on introducing moisture into your tobacco. I hope it is somewhat useful. If anyone stumbles upon this video through looking for ways to maintain your tobacco, sorry for the rambling. That's what I do here. If anyone has anything to say, polite and open discussion is always welcome. If you want to, if your feelings are hurt by this video, and if you have low self-esteem or small dick and you want to brandish it in the comment section, I'll probably delete everything and you can fuck off. And that's it, I think. Thanks very much for dropping by, and I'm going to get back to struggling with this tobacco, and I'll see you soon in another one of my videos. In the meantime, see you people. Bye.